Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here. I am on Hollywood Boulevard, but you'll notice there are no stars along the pavement because I have trounced along for a little bit of a ways away from the Walk of Fame. Not all of the boulevard has the stars. Some people know that, some people don't. And now you do. It's my second channel, daily vlog channel. It's kind of overcast today. Look at this, clouds. That's a rarity. It's the Daily Woo.
I still have about a mile and a half, give or take, to go to the first destination of the subject matter that is going to take over today's vlog. But first, look at this.
What is that haunting aroma coming out of... Oh. Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted, Adam. Keep moving. Keep moving. Food. We'll wait later for food.
This ice cream truck looks like it could be used in a horror film or something. Popped in real quick to this little parking area. The murals and graffiti on the side of the wall. And here's Michael doing his famous saying, hee hee, and he has the white glove. That's actually pretty cool looking. Thrilling from the grave and beyond. I like that. And this ever-present reminder, well, present until it gets painted over, but this reminder that we should always be happy. This guy's scaffolding the side of the wall and drawing a happy face. From this spot, you can get a pretty good view of the observatory way up there on the hill. And the side of this little motel has adorned it with the Hollywood sign and the Chinese theater there, which actually is way down that way. About 2 miles.
I stand corrected. It is nearly 3 miles. I had to look it up from point A to point B. Today's subject matter is going to take us back to the year 1916, the silent film era. Director D.W. Griffith. Humongous epic film that became a box office flop, but is remembered in a lot of ways for a number of different reasons. That's what we're talking about. And that's where we're heading.
As we continue on this sidewalk for just a little bit longer, the road will shift slightly to the right and Hollywood Boulevard will connect with Sunset Boulevard. And that's where the abandoned film set sat for 3 or 4 years after production. Oh no, she's behind bars. What did you do to get locked up? Not sure, but there's some pretty sweet sunglasses in there with her. On the side of this electrical box, someone has drawn a lot of the Hollywood icons. Wait. Are those? Nah. At first I thought they were, but they're not. There's the sign and some sort of dismantled figure that has been shredded. I don't know what happened there, but I always like artwork. And real quick, just peek around this fence line. Classic car alert.
Now I feel really awkward. I didn't even have to look around the fence. You can see it perfectly from this angle, just walking down the road. No peeking was necessary.
We're now approaching where the road shifts, like I was mentioning a minute ago, and it looks at some point that you were able to walk underneath the road. Now you have to take the crosswalk, but over there was the exit platform. You used to be able to go down here into the nether regions. Oh man, that's kind of scary. It's where the chuds live.
By the way, sad to hear about the passing of John Hurd. I got to meet him once. You know him as the father from Home Alone. I know him from Chud.
And at this point, you can see just how far we are meandering away from the iconic sign. Just a little bit of ways to go. Just down that way, a few more blocks. As I pass this music note painted on the side of the wall, I can't help but notice this relic of Ace Hardware history. That's an old school sign up there. I made it, at least to the first spot of the day, here at the cross streets, and also the cross streets of Virgil, right across from the Vista Theater. It's incredible to think, but over 100 years ago, a century ago, at this very spot, at the angle I am standing, there was a gas station here on the right corner, and where the Vista Theater is, was the set from the movie Intolerance.
This structure did not open until 1923, so a few years after the movie set was bulldozed, but it stretched all along here. Massive. A couple blocks all the way down and all the way over. Huge.
As best I can tell, this little now paved road was the entryway into the set. And some of the houses, obviously not these apartment complexes, but some of these houses were actually here, and the set was kind of sort of behind it, over where those palm trees are now. Walking a little further into the neighborhood, actually around the back of the neighborhood, I am now on the corner of Clayton Ave and Rosalia Road. I was trying to match up some photos of the former houses and structures, or maybe even the production bungalows. Couldn't really find anything that matched up to the photos I found, but I think, don't quote me on this, but this is the angle in the photo you are looking at now, and they layered the set, even as monumental and massive as it was, they layered it to make it look even larger on the screen. Hypothetically, if it had never been removed, this would be an urban explorer's dream. They said kids, adults, people of all kinds were out here just wandering around, climbing up on the huge elephants where this neighborhood now resides, right where I'm standing. Pretty crazy. At the time, it was one of the most expensive movies ever made, and the box office did not reflect or compensate for the amount of money it took to create the set. The director ended up really having a lot of financial difficulties throughout the rest of his life, and the studio ended up being sold. You have to wonder, have they ever screened the movie inside here? That'd be pretty neat. If it wasn't for the cross street coordinates and a few photos, there really would be no hint or proof that it ever existed here. Over 3,000 extras were used in one of the scenes. And the story is, the urban legend is, the weight of everyone was so heavy that it almost collapsed the set. Could you imagine that? If that humongous structure would have fallen? Now, if you are anything like me, you are thinking, man, it would have been nice for me to lay my own eyes upon something that majestic. Well, fret not, my friends, because 3.7 miles from where I am standing, from the original spot, it has been recreated down that way. Just trust me, it's down there. Oh yeah, he never stops. He never stops busting. Busting makes me feel good. But he's busting through the roof, and this gold lettering signifies where I currently am, the cross streets, in beautiful gold lettering along the ground. The shopping center located here opened in 2001. Right there. And if you look closely, it looks eerily similar to the movie set in question. But it is no coincidence. It was built this way completely on purpose. Everything from the gargantuan elephant perched on the ledge up there to the massive archway, which just so happens to peek onto a very good view of the Hollywood sign, and the stairs, which are pretty much identical to where all those extras came running down in the film oh so long ago. Nicknamed Babylon Center, you could say this is the real-life Hollywood Babylon, and that epic tracking shot at the time, that was the longest one in the existence of cinema up to that point. Almost 3 blocks, that huge tracking shot. Nice. Swooping in ever so gently into the modern age of makeup stores and restaurants. Look at this. Mostly unnoticed by everyone meandering through here. Probably do not realize the history of this magnificent structure. That elephant is providing some sweet shade. And while I stand here and marvel at the sheer magnitude of this, I can't help to think also that this is only a portion of the size of what the original looked like. Now, it has never been 100% confirmed, but there are stories that science fiction writer Ray Bradbury was the first to come up with the idea to recreate this place and then turn it basically into a makeshift mall and tourist attraction. He also had some very other interesting ideas for this area. But check it out, the Hollywood sign, pretty good view right there. Everyone's staring that way when in reality, they have no idea the history and the backstory of these. Getting a close-up now of the pillars, this one is completely intact. The circumference goes all the way around, and there's a stairway tucked away over here. But if you look at the secondary one, it's only half a pillar. A little photographic trickery right there. Only what the camera sees is all that matters. And I must be honest, the first couple times that I came here, I was staring in this direction in this fashion as well, just as everyone else is currently. It took me a while to really start to understand and research the significance of the rest of the plaza. If you're on the boulevard and walk up the stairs, immediately past the fountain, just glance over this direction. Babylon Court, the monumental archway and elephants above you are inspired by the film set from D.W. Griffith's historic 1916 film Intolerance, perhaps the most famous set ever built. It became the first tourist attraction related to the movie business in Hollywood when it was abandoned. During filming, over 1,000 extras were used. Now, I heard it was 3,000. They say 1,000 on this. Use your own discretion. And horse-drawn chariots raced atop the battle. They raced atop. That's insane. Across the top of the set. It remained standing for many years after filming was completed near the intersection of Sunset and Hollywood Boulevard. Some of the other ideas that Bradbury had was to put a towering gold pillar somewhere on the cross streets here. There's no towering pillar, but there is that guy. And he also wanted to build another library that had a huge Egyptian mummy out front. And then when you entered in through the corridors, talking mummies gave you directions. Those ideas never came to fruition. Imagine if they did, that would be pretty freaking awesome. If you want to find D.W. Starr, the director of the movie, just look for Maureen O'Sullivan, Johnny Weissmuller, of course, who played Tarzan, and next to him, David Wark Griffith. Like Mark, but instead of an M, it's a W. David Wark Griffith. That's the star. His legend not only lives on here, but also, Claire Danes is there as well. But also down in the form of a shopping center. And the odds of that being bulldozed anytime soon are probably slim to none because, let's face it, people like shopping. Vlog over.